the truth. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Good morning, Mr. Phillips. My name is Hal Thomas, and I am an attorney down in Mount Laurel, and we are here today for your deposition. Can you hear me all right? Very good. Have you ever been deposed before, going through one of these sworn testimony situations? Okay. And no depositions, no court appearances, anything like that where you actually had to swear to tell the truth? Okay. All right. But nothing that had to do with any kind of prior injuries or accidents that you were involved in? Okay. Well, today is just a question and answer period. I will be asking you questions. You'll be providing responses. Excuse me. And the court reporter will be taking down everything that's said. That will be put into a booklet form called a transcript, and that transcript can be used later at an arbitration or a trial or any formal proceeding. Do you understand that? Now, we are in a very informal setting here. It's a virtual deposition. We used to do these live before COVID, but now we do them virtually. So there's a couple of instructions that I have to give you that are specific to the virtual deposition. First of all, try to wait until I get my entire question on the record before you give your response, okay? That's important because the court reporter can only hear the person who was in the highlighted box. So only one person can talk at a time. We need to be able to make sure she gets everything down, all right? Another instruction to give you is I'm going to ask you questions. If you do not hear the question, do not answer it. Just ask me to repeat it, and I'll repeat it so that you do hear it and can provide a response. If I ask you a question you don't understand, just tell me that. I'll rephrase the question so that you do understand it, and then you can provide a response. You understand that? Okay. If there's any question I ask you which calls for a number type response, such as a time or a date or a distance, a speed, if you have an exact number, that's wonderful. If you can approximate, just feel free to approximate, but just tell us you're approximating. You're like about 2 o'clock, approximately 10 feet, that sort of thing, all right? I don't think we're going to call, but if you ever need to take a break during the deposition, to take a call, make a call, whatever you have to do, just let me know that. We can take a break. I will ask you to answer the last question that's posed, but then we can take a break, all right? During that break, do not talk to your attorney about the case because technically you're still under oath. You are still in the process of a deposition, and I can ask you, when we resume, who did you talk to and what did you talk about during that break? And I don't want to have to do that, okay? Do you have any questions for your attorney before we get started? Okay, and you realize that you can't look to him for any responses or assistance in answering questions once we start the deposition, right? Now, it appears to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, it appears to me that you are sitting in a vehicle at the time, correct? Right now it looks like you're sitting in a car. Is there anyone in the vehicle with you? Just you. Very good. And I ask you that, I'm not trying to invade your privacy or anything, but you are not allowed to look to anyone else for assistance in answering the questions. I just want to make sure there's nobody else around. Do you have any documents in front of you that you intend to refer to in answering my questions? Very good. That's a good thing because you're not permitted to do that either. If there are documents that I want you to see, I will share my screen and you'll be able to see them, okay? All right. Sir, is there any reason before we start that you would not be able to hear my questions, understand them, and provide honest responses. Okay. If you ever hear your attorney say objection during the deposition, I don't think that's going to happen much, if at all. But if that occurs, that is your signal to stop talking. You'll be instructed by Mr. Budzak whether to respond to my questions or not, okay? All right. You ready to get started? Give me your full name, sir. Any middle name? Have you ever been known by any other name? What is your address? How long have you lived there, sir? And where did you live before the Sayers Avenue address? Do you remember the street address? Okay. What is your date of birth? And off the record, what is your social security number? The court reporter won't take it down. You just give it to me, but it won't be taken down by the court reporter. Thank you. Back on the record. Are you currently employed? When was the last time you were employed, sir? And I forgot to give you this instruction. I think I did give it to you. You can approximate or estimate, just, if you don't know an exact number. Okay. And back in 2008, what type of employment did you have? Okay. And why haven't you worked since 2008? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hal. I think everybody froze on me. The last thing I have is why haven't you worked since 2008? Okay.
There was a delay, but
Okay, everybody seemed frozen to me and I wanted to make sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. You can answer the question. Okay. Did you graduate from high school? What high school, sir? Did you attend any type of college or vocational training beyond high school? Okay. So you didn't receive any type of associate's degree or any certificate or anything from Brookdale? How have you supported yourself since 2008? Um, Basically, how do you pay your bills? I'm assuming. What type of income or what kind of benefits or anything do have you received since 2008 that allows you to pay your bills? Are you on Social Security disability? And and has that resulted in an award of Social Security disability? And when did you receive that award? When was that approved? So, okay. So since 2011, you've been receiving Social Security disability benefits. Okay. And that's based upon your diagnosis as a paranoid schizophrenic? Okay. And who was your physician? Who's the physician who diagnosed the paranoia and schizophrenia? Pollitt? Can you spell that for me? And where was that, sir? Do you presently seek any treatment for your paranoia or schizophrenia? When was the last time you saw a medical professional for your paranoia or your schizophrenia? And where was Elaine located? Neptune? You know her last name? Okay, I'll send a request to your attorney. So just pull it up and provide it to him, and then I'll send a request to him. Okay? No problem. Do you take any medications on a regular basis for your paranoia or schizophrenia? Okay. Sir, do you own any motor vehicles? Yeah, a car, a boat, a camper, and snowmobile, anything. What do you, what type of vehicle do you own? Now, that was not the vehicle you were operating back in February of 2024 when this accident happened, correct? Okay. So back on the date of this accident, that was a 2002 an SUV, and you no longer own that Envoy. How long did you own that, sir? Okay. And did the vehicle have any property damage on it before this particular accident, the one we're here about today? Okay. Did the vehicle sustain any property damage in the accident that we're here about today on February 13th, 24? So that will be the rear bumper on the driver's side or the passenger side? Okay. What type of damage did the rear bumper sustain in this accident? Was that damage ever repaired? And did you ever take photographs of that damage before you got rid of the car? On the scene? Okay. Did you ever obtain an estimate to repair the damage? Okay. So you took it into a body shop to get an estimate, but you don't recall what the estimate was and you don't have any paperwork? Okay. Sir, do you have a valid New Jersey driver's license? Has it ever been revoked or suspended for any reason? Okay, that's a good thing. Sir, have you ever been convicted of a crime or pled guilty to a crime? What crimes have you pled guilty to or been convicted of? Okay. And the last time you would have had a conviction or pled guilty would have been in 2001? Two 2008? Have you ever been incarcerated? Okay. And where were you incarcerated? What facility? That's it? Just the Freehold County Jail? Yeah. Were there any? Down near Bridgeton, right? Okay. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about the accident that we're here about. You recall it occurring on February 13th of 24? Does that sound right? Okay. Do you remember what day of the week it was? Do you remember whether it was a weekday compared to a weekend? Okay. All right. And where did it occur? Well, we'll start with some short answers, then I'll ask you for your version. But do you remember where you were when it happened? On what street? Okay. And you were parked at the time? Was your vehicle running? How long do you think you had been parked there before the accident? Okay. Were you by yourself? Okay, so you parked out in front of the Family Dollar or the Family General. You were sitting there for about 7 or 10 minutes, texting on your phone. Um, what occurred? Give me your version. What occurred next? Yeah, describe how the accident happened, then I'll ask you some specific questions. I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. Because I want to talk about the accident a little bit before we get into your medical treatment. You said that you were parked there and you saw a car pull up on your driver's side, correct? Okay. And it's your understanding that they were going to attempt to parallel park in back of you? Okay. So at some point in time, were you able to determine that this car was going to or was attempting to parallel park in back of you? Okay. All right. So you didn't watch him at all as he was doing whatever he was doing. Yeah. All right. So you don't know whether he's, I'm sorry. So after he pulled up next to you, you don't know whether he continued on or started to back up. He went backwards. And do you know what speed? You said you were bumped. Do you know what speed he was traveling before he bumped you? Okay. You dropped your phone on the floor and you say the screen cracked. You don't have the same phone anymore, do you? Okay. Um, and you say at that point you did not have your seatbelt on, correct? Did any part of your body hit any part of the inside of the car as a result of being bumped? What part of your body hit the steering wheel, sir? Your forehead. Okay. Did you ever have any bump or abrasion or anything on your forehead as a result of hitting the steering wheel? Okay. And what kind of symptoms were you having that you determined you had a concussion? Okay. Other than your forehead hitting the steering wheel, did any other part of your body hit any part of the inside of the car? All right. Excuse me. And you said that after this bump, you got out of the car immediately? when you went back to his car, was it already stopped? And how far was his car stopped behind yours when you went back to look? I mean, are we talking 6 inches or 20 inches or 1 inch? What are we talking? Okay. And was his car directly behind yours or was it on an angle? On an angle? And was it only you who were taking photos of the vehicle at that point, or did somebody else on your behalf take photos? Okay. And do you know any of the individuals' names that were in the car? Okay. Do you remember answering interrogatories with your attorney? They were written questions and you provided information and probably provided him with copies of the photographs? Okay. Do you remember probably months ago, you answered interrogatories, written questions with your attorney, and you may have provided him with copies of the photographs? Okay. All right. So we have answers to interrogatories that were provided by your attorney on your behalf. And in those answers, there are 34 photographs. I'm going to show you the photographs that he sent to us. I want you to look at them as I go through them and see if they're the ones you took on the scene that day. Okay. And then I'll ask you some specific questions about them. Okay. Yeah, they're just written questions, typed questions that you answered with the assistance of your attorney. They're just called interrogatories. So so let me try to share my screen so you can see these photographs, okay? All right. Sir, do you see on your phone a photograph? All right. And it appears as though there's kind of a excuse me, a champagne colored car on the bottom left-hand side and kind of a maroon car on the bottom right-hand side. The maroon car was your car on the date of the incident, right? That's okay. Do you remember? I'm going to go through them. Okay. I'm going to go through all 34 of them, and then I'm going to come back to this one just so we know that these are all your photographs. All right. I'm going to scroll down. Well, don't say anything now. Let me go through all of them, and then we'll come back. Okay. I just want to make sure these are all yours. Okay, I've gone through all of them, sir. Let me just clarify. They were all photographs that you took on the scene, correct? All right. Okay. And the first photograph, which we talked about briefly, that shows both the vehicles, the front of the champagne car and the rear of the maroon car. It's your recollection that that photograph was taken after the champagne car was moved back? All right. And I know some of the photos are doubles, but I want to go through a couple of them. The second photograph also, in your recollection, shows after the car was backed up. Okay. This is the third photograph. What does the third photograph show us? I don't know, sir. They were just provided to us in this order. So I'm just, if you don't know, that's fine. Okay. Okay. What does the fourth photograph show us? Yeah. Okay. And the fifth photograph seems to show the front driver's side tire of my client's car, right? And why did you take this photo? Yeah. Okay. All right. That's six. That's seven. That's eight. That's nine, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 seems to show the front of my client's vehicle. What are we looking at? Why did you take photograph number 13? Yeah. What does this show us? Okay. 14. 15 shows the vehicle's a bit closer, correct? Does 15 show any of the property damage to the back of your vehicle as a result of this accident? Okay. That's a 217. And this is the same photograph. So those, no, it's okay. Your vehicle had a trailer hitch on it? Did your vehicle have a trailer hitch on it? Yeah. All right. And the scratches that you're talking about, they're above the trailer hitch on the maroon part of the bumper? But were those scratches, the ones above the trailer hitch on the maroon part of the bumper, were those scratches caused by this accident? Okay. They weren't there before. All right. Okay. And this photograph shows those scratches above the trailer hitch. It also shows a portion of your license plate and the handle for the back hatch. How about the scratches near the handle for the back scratch? Were they caused by this accident? See the scratches below and to the right of the handle? Were they caused by this accident? Okay. Just the ones on the bumper. All right. In this photograph, it looks like there's snow on top of the um, driver's side rear bumper. The little light, marker light, clearance light is in the bumper, and there's scratches near the clearance light. Were those scratches caused by this accident? Okay. All right. How about these on the, what will be on the driver's side, like edge of the bumper to the right, to the left side of the bumper when looking at the rear bumper? Were they caused by this accident or just the ones in the middle? Okay. So these were also caused by this accident. Yeah, the ones we're looking at right now near the marker light, they were caused by this accident. Okay. All right. I want to get down to the photograph. You said it was my client's daughter. Right here. Oh, sure. Before this one. Okay. All right. So there is, just let me describe it for the record. So there is a photograph showing my client's vehicle, the driver's side of my client's vehicle, and the front end of a dark colored car behind it. That's the photograph you're referring to. Okay. Was this photograph taken after my client pulled forward or before? Okay, okay. Was it actively snowing at the time of the accident, sir? No. Okay. All right. Now, this is the only photo I think that's in the compilation that shows, excuse me, both cars. It's taken from the sidewalk, and you said it was my client's daughter standing on the sidewalk with a white hat on and a red jacket. You see that? You took this photograph, correct? Was this photograph taken before or after my client moved his car back? Okay. Did you ever hear either my client or even his daughter say on the scene that there was no impact? You understand the question? But you don't have any specific recollection of either of them saying that there was no impact. Okay. All right. Did you receive a ticket as a result of this accident? How about for the actual accident itself, other than driving without a license? Were there any other citations issued? Okay. Are you aware of any surveillance which may have captured the incident? Okay. Okay. And you say that on the scene you complained of neck pain? when you felt the bump, tell me what happened to your body. Did it immediately go forward and hit the steering wheel? Did it go back? Did it go to the right, to the left? Okay, indicating you moved forward towards the steering wheel? Okay, all right. So the ambulance comes on the scene and they transport you to the hospital? Okay. And what kind of medical care did they administer to you on the scene? What ER did they take you to, sir? Monmouth Medical? And you say you complained of neck and shoulder pain? What shoulder? Left or right? And what did they x-ray? What parts of your body? And what were the results of the x-rays? Okay. Now let me ask you a general question. In this motor vehicle accident, what parts of your body do you claim you injured? Neck and left shoulder? Okay. Before this accident, did you ever injure your neck, your left shoulder, or your low back? Okay. And how about after this accident? Did you ever sustain any other injuries to your neck, your left shoulder, or your low back? But I mean, did you have any other additional injuries, whether it be a car accident or a sports injury or anything like that? Okay. All right. So you're in the emergency room for about 5 hours. They take x-rays. They give you a shot of Toradol. What else did they do for you, if anything? Did they diagnose a concussion in the emergency room? Okay. All right. And you were discharged. You weren't kept in the hospital, right? Okay. Who did you first see after you were discharged from the emergency room? What kind of medical provider? Okay. What chiropractor, sir? What was his or her name? What chiropractor? Do you remember where the chiropractor was? Okay. And how long did you go to treatment with the chiropractor? And how would you get there? How would you get there? Okay. And how did you find the chiropractor? Yeah. Had you ever treated with that chiropractor before? Had you ever treated with, go ahead, I'm sorry. Had you ever treated with any orthopedist before? Had you ever treated with any other chiropractor before the date of this incident? And had you ever had any kind of x-rays or CAT scans or MRIs of your neck, your shoulder, or your low back before this accident? All right. So you went to the chiropractor about 30 times. What did he do for you during those visits? Okay. Well, on the visits, what did he do for you? And they did that on your neck, your shoulder, and your low back? And at some point in time, were you discharged from the chiropractor's care or did you just stop going? Okay. And how many times did you go to that Princeton Pain and Spine or and do you remember how many times in total you went to see them? Okay. And what did they do for you? Okay. So he did testing, but did he do any actual hands-on treatment? Okay. And was it he who sent you out for the MRI tests? What is your understanding of what the MRIs showed? Okay. Excuse me. And after it was determined that this something happened to your neck, did your chiropractic care change at all? You say they would have you do the neck thing. What's the neck thing, sir? All right. Did you ever have any physical therapy as a result of this incident? Yeah. Where they sent you to a physical therapist for exercises and stretching and things like that? Okay. And you say pain management. What was the pain management care that you received? Oh, at Princeton Pain and Spine? Okay. Did you ever have any injections other than the medicine injection you had in the ER? And what do you mean when you say you're in the process of setting it up? What are you actually doing? All right. And where did you go on Tuesday? Where's this new pain management doctor? That'd be great. Sure. And where was that office? Relieve us. Where was their office? Okay. Thank you, sir. And you say you're scheduled to go back there again? Can you turn your microphone back on? I'm seeing Samsung SM. There you go. Thank you. When are you scheduled to return to relieve us? And is that for the epidural or is that just for another evaluation? Okay. So after this accident, you saw the emergency room, you saw the chiropractor, you saw Princeton Pain and Spine, you had the MRIs, and you've seen Relievus. Have you gone to any other medical provider for this accident? Okay. And the care you're involved in now is just with Relievus? Okay. And that's because they were closer to you or more convenient than Princeton Pain and Spine? Okay. Now, the care that you're having at Relievus, is that just for your neck or is it also for your shoulder and low back? Just the neck? Okay. But the epidural they're talking about, that's just for your neck. Okay. Okay. All right. At the present time, sir, and I'm not talking about today, but say within the last 3 months or so, what type of symptoms are you still having that you attribute to this accident? I'm sorry, you can't drive, you said? Jog. I'm sorry. And what do you mean by training? You say you used to train with your son. What kind of training? I'm not asking about your son, sir. I'm asking about you. You said you used to train with your son. What type of training did you do with your son? You, not your son. So it was weight training. You were weight training. Okay. And you can't run or jog anymore? Do you belong to any kind of gyms? Have you ever belonged to a gym or a fitness club? Okay. Other than the jogging, the training, the working out, are there other activities which you can no longer do as a result of this accident? Anything else? Okay. Do you participate or are you active in social media? Whether it be Facebook or whatever. Do you have any Facebook accounts, or do you post or anything on Facebook? Okay. Does the name Rakill Jackson mean anything to you? Rakill Jackson. What does that mean to you? Whose name is it? It's a fictional name for who? Okay. Is your fictional name Rakill Jackson on Facebook? Well, how about on any kind of social media? So you don't know who Rakill Jackson is? Have you ever been known as Rakill Jackson? And when under what circumstances did you use the name Rakill Jackson? And when you had a Facebook page, you were known as Rakill Jackson on Facebook? Rakill Jackson, Jackson. Okay. Were you present at the Jersey Shore Medical Center heliport on September 7th of 2024? Were you present at the Jersey Shore Medical Center heliport on September 7th, 2024? Yeah, at the hospital. Well, you would have been would you have been at the, put it this way. Would you have been at Jersey Shore Medical Center on September 7th, 2024? Have you been to the Jersey Shore Medical Center since the date of this accident? Yeah. When? Why did you go to the Jersey Shore Medical Center since the date of this accident? Yeah. For what reason were you there? As a patient or as a visitor? And, okay. So were you a patient at Jersey Shore Medical Center since the date of this accident? Have you ever been admitted to any hospital? Yeah. not a mental hospital, sir. Any other hospital? Okay, all right. And have you ever, excuse me, suffered an injury that required you to seek medical attention other than this accident? Have you ever visited a location known as Retro Fitness in West Long Branch? When was the last time you visited Retro Fitness in West Long Branch? This is 2025. What month or season of 2024? That's the last time you were there? Were you a member of that facility? So how did you actually utilize their equipment if you were not a member? So you paid for his membership? So the membership would have been in his name or in your name? Okay. And before the accident, how often would you visit the Retro Fitness in West Long Branch? And you have not been there since the date of the accident? Have you been to any other gym since the date of this accident? Let me just look at my notes, sir. I might not have anything else for you. Other than the pending lawsuit, have you ever filed any other civil lawsuits? Nothing criminal, civil. No? Okay. Sir, they are the only questions I have for you. Your own attorney may have some follow-ups, but if not, I thank you very much.
I have no questions, so you're good to go, Rodney. Yep,
That's
thank
it.
you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, folks. You have a good day.